Hello everyone, this video is about pricing intelligence, specifically how your prices compare to competitors for the same brands and products across platforms. And as an example, we will be comparing item level pricing for all stores on Foodpanda versus Grab in Singapore. We'll look at both original prices and promotional prices because as you'll see, the answer to who's cheaper can change completely depending on which one you look at. So to start off, go to the aggregators tab here and select affordability. This section is built around match store data, and let me explain what that means quickly. So match data means we've identified the same store or brand appearing on both your platform and your competitor's platform, and we've linked them together. So when we show you a price comparison, we're actually comparing apples to apple, the same restaurant on both platforms at the same time. So in the summary box at the top, you can see the number of common stores, which is not the number of total stores you guys have, but the number of common match stores between Foodpanda and Grab. Then you can see the common products matched as well, and then the average pricing. So to start off, I'd recommend by comparing one platform to one platform. It keeps the analysis a lot cleaner and is easier to interpret before you layer in more variables. And you can always expand this once you're a bit more comfortable. So I'll just make sure that I have all the cities selected because I want to compare the full market view. And you can always narrow this down to a specific city using the filters. Speaking about filters, you can just double check which platforms you want to compare. In this case, I'm looking at Foodpanda and Grab. And if you would ever want to filter by specific brand, crawl date, price comparison, etc., you can as well. Now scroll down to the stores view, and here you can see a list of all the restaurants with their number of matched products, the average pricing, the number of unmatched products, for example, for your platform versus your competitors. So if I'm looking at pricing, the percentage indicator right here is a key signal. So red means that your competitors actually priced cheaper than you by that specific percentage, for example, 2.98%. Green means you're cheaper than your competitor by that specific percentage. And then this lets you quickly scan down the list and spot where you're losing on price and where you're winning. If you want to focus only on stores with a meaningful price difference, you can use the price filter right here. I'll set a minimum of 5%. Now I'm only seeing stores where that gap is significant enough to actually matter. This is a good way to prioritize which restaurants to look at first when you're making pricing decisions. You can also use the sub-filter to sort by good price, same price, and bad price. So I'm going to select bad price here. So bad price just means you're more expensive than the competitor. It's not specifying the specific percentage amount. And then these are just the ones that you should look into, for example. Now here's an important distinction. By default, you're looking at original prices, but if I switch to promotional prices, the prices customer actually see after any active discounts are applied, that gap can look very different. So a competitor that looks more expensive or cheaper on the original pricing might actually change once their promotions are factored in. So if we're just going to take the restaurant on the first row, Parivar, and we apply the filter and change the price type to promotional, let's see how that changes. So if we look here on Grab, we're actually more expensive by 2.98% because it's in red, which means they are cheaper than us by 2.98%. So I'm just going to apply that filter and we'll see what the data looks like. Now you can actually see that Parivar, once you apply the promotional pricing, we're actually cheaper by 9.11%. So the question you're ultimately trying to answer is for the end customer, who is actually cheaper? And that's why you need both of these lenses. And as always, you can download this data, both of the price views, to take into account whatever workflow you're using for pricing decisions. Thank you.